If you're looking for a reason to move your family to New Mexico without having to worry about all the naysayers and all the negativity that comes around with living here in Albuquerque, in today's video, guys, I'm going to be going over a city that is super young. It's not even, I guess it's almost close to about 100 years old. But with that being said, in today's video, we're going to be talking about RIO Rancho and why I would personally move my family to this city and all the great opportunities that you can expect when you are moving down there. So grab your pen and your pad and let's get into today's video. Now, RIO Rancho is a city that was incorporated around like the late 60s, early 70s. So you can kind of get the idea of how young this actual city is. I think they just reached over 100,000 people that actually live in this particular area. It's more or less like a suburb of Albuquerque, but we're gonna give it the benefit of the doubt and still give it its title as a city. So when we are talking about RIO Rancho, guys, we are gonna be talking about, you know, the abundant culture that you're still gonna experience, you know, that you could see in Albuquerque and some places in New Mexico. You're still gonna get affordable housing. You're actually gonna get more opportunities to purchase an affordable house out in RIO Rancho, whether it's a new build or an older home. You can find that some of these areas will be appealing to people who are looking for something that's even under $300,000 nowadays. So if this is something that you're interested in, guys, and you like everything that comes with talking about Albuquerque, New Mexico, RIO Rancho, Los Lunas, then you're gonna wanna hit that subscribe and notification bell down at the bottom, because this is the Living in Albuquerque channel, but we like to talk about everything that comes down to living here in New Mexico. And my name is Eli, and as much as I love doing these videos, I would also love to help you out with your real estate needs, because we are licensed brokers here in the state of New Mexico, and that number popping up on the screen is my direct line. So if you are wondering what life is like down here, what you can expect, or you just wanna get that next step started to making that move down here, feel free to reach out, call or text at any time, because I love to make sure you get all the help you need. One of the number one reasons why I would move my family out to RIO Rancho is because of all the family orientated things that they have there. I guess from the lifestyle to the neighborhoods, even down to the events that they have, right? In Cabazon, you are gonna have usual events that they got going on, right? Like neighborhood yard sale events. The park is so massive there at Cabazon Park that they'll have movies in the park. They also have a community center, a pool, a skate park, and all that stuff tucked away within this pretty cool community that has actually been there for quite some time, I think 20 plus years. And there's a lot of nice homes in that area. You can expect to purchase a house from anywhere from $350,000 and up, just depending on the size and exactly what part of Cabazon you're wanting to live in, right? If you are wanting to live in the gated community, you're gonna pay more, and of course those HOA fees really help with keeping the neighborhood nice and clean and tight and making sure that there's nothing crazy going on there. But other neighborhoods like Northern Meadows, Loma Colorado, Mountain Hawk Estates, and Mariposa, these are bigger communities. Yes, of course, I know that there's a ton of other communities, but for the family aspect, I'm looking for communities that will have like community centers, smart home living, like Loma Colorado has the aquatic center and the pool there and the library, all within a walking distance of the neighborhood. Mariposa has a cafe, a gym, and all that stuff in their neighborhood as well. So you're starting to see more neighborhoods like this starting to get built out there, which is really beneficial to the family aspect. Now, you also do have other amenities around there. You do have the park above, which is a very inclusive, very all ages kind of park essentially, and it's very safe. Like the whole thing is like padded rubber essentially, even the hills that they got built there. And then of course ADA compliant swings and all that stuff. They also got like splash pads, you know, walking paths, and all these different things that you can just take your kids right down the street and have the essence of, you know, getting them outside, getting them in tune with the other kids in the community, and just creating relationships and friendships, right? Which is pretty cool. So if you are moving here and you're worried about like, hey, how is my kids gonna make friends? How am I gonna make friends? Well, shoot, if you take these kids down to any of these parks, you are gonna be able to help them make friends and, you know, find their own community, and you yourself might even make some new friends with the parents out there. Now, when it comes to the schools, guys, of course, RIO Rancho, I mean, I'm just gonna be honest, based off of niche.com, they have one of the #1 top rated schools. Now, this isn't coming from me, but the RIO Rancho public school system has an A rating school system. You have RIO Rancho High and Cleveland that has an awesome educational system. So just based off of those kinds of things, if I was looking to move anywhere here in New Mexico, if it was in Albuquerque, I'd take my family to RIO Rancho. Now, the second one, guys, isn't gonna be deal breaker or anything like that, but you pretty much got the essentials down in Rio Rancho. And with some of these neighborhoods being like centrally located, you can virtually find everything that you can want and need really 10 to 15 minutes away from you. So it's kind of like living in Albuquerque, where everything is going to be 10 to 15 minutes away from you, depending on what side of town you're living on. This is just kind of like the whole city of Rio Rancho. If you are living in any one of these neighborhoods, you're going to be able to find a good place to get some food, some dining, some local places, some branch chains like I'm talking about supplements like BCAAs, but really bringing it back just to the whole aspect of what is the value for families out there and the different types of amenities that they have. When it comes down to the shopping centers, you got, of course, the Enchanted Hills Shopping Center. You also have like the Rio Rancho Marketplace that has like the Albertsons and Target and all that stuff. So really anything that you could want and need is going to be there in Rio Rancho. You rarely ever have to travel to Albuquerque. Majority of the people that live in Rio Rancho that travel to Albuquerque either work here in Albuquerque or they need to go to Costco or Sam's Club, and really you can get to those on the outskirts of Albuquerque. Anyhow, a couple cool places to dine in out over there. If you enjoy good beer, Turtle Mountain Brewing Company is going to be a cool place to go and have a good bite to eat and some good beer. I actually got to go and do a B&I meeting for one of our downline guys out there, which is pretty cool. So he asked me to go and fill in for him. He's actually the president of the B&I chapter out there. So it's pretty exciting to do this video. And this next week, we're going to actually be speaking to their people within their networking group. So really connecting with the business owners, trying to, network a little bit better to bring some better things to these videos for you guys. So if there's any resources that you guys need, we can definitely help you out as far as getting you connected with those people out there in Rio Rancho. Of course, we talked about the recreational things that you can do out there. You got the aquatic center, you got all the different parks out there, Park Above, Cabazon Park, Northern Meadows, and all that stuff that are going to virtually have parks all within their communities, which New Mexico has done a really good job of making sure that there is at least one community park tucked away within each neighborhood. That way the kids can get outside and just stay away from their tablets for one, right? So I know as a parent, that's one thing that we strive for. So living in New Mexico makes it super easy. Now, when we do talk about the medical facilities that you are gonna be using out there, of course, they have all the local urgent cares and all that stuff, but the two main ones is gonna be UNM and Press. They both have different locations. One as soon as you get into Rio Rancho, and then another one UNM, you are going to see that is more centrally located to the city, making it more convenient for the people that live on the north side of Rio Rancho. And in that little place right there next to Russ Medical Center, the Presbyterian, they're starting to build so much different things that it's going to be even easier of an access for the people within those neighborhoods to really just go down the street to get their groceries and their necessities and stuff like that, and maybe even go to a doctor's visit. Now, there's one thing in these videos that I like to talk about, because obviously it's what we do, and that's affordable housing. That's the main reason why a lot of you guys move to Rio Rancho or move to New Mexico in general, because houses in this area tend to be a little bit more affordable. Now, you are going to have places that are a little bit more popular with the first-time home buyers because the name just kind of sticks, especially if you are a local. Those areas are going to be Cabazon and Northern Meadows. Now, you can purchase a house literally around $350,000, depending again what area you're picking in. It might go past $400,000. You got places like Enchanted Hills, which is relatively about the same price. Not a whole lot of gated communities in that area, but if you are looking at new home builds, then the prices can get a little bit more expensive. You're looking at anywhere from $400,000 and up, just depending on which neighborhood you go with. You got builders out there like the regular Pulte, D.R. Hortons, and Abrazo homes, and then you got Hakes Brothers and Centex that are also building good quality homes. Now you got Fellowship Homes, which is a local builder that actually tends to build a lot of cool custom houses out there. So if you like a unique feature, but you don't really necessarily know how to put it all together and you want somebody to help you, those guys are pretty good at it, and they make sure that you get everything you basically would want in a house. Now, does it really matter what area you're gonna choose as far as price goes? To be honest with you, an average house in Rio Rancho is gonna cost you around $300,000 in some of these older neighborhoods. So relatively if you just plan on staying under $400,000 and under, you're gonna find a pretty decent house out there. And of course, I can't do these videos, like I always tell you, without talking about the accessibility to nature and all the different things that you can do outside. We've talked about the parks, and I've told you all the different things you can do with your kiddos at the parks. But when you do wanna go off the untrodden path, as they say, you can go down to the Bosque trails, you can hit up the Rio Grande, which is right there next to Corrales Heights. They got an awesome place that you can just drive down. It's a big long stretch of road that dips down into the valley where the Bosque is, and you can just take off and just go roam around in that area. You are also gonna be super close to Jemez Springs, which is gonna be about 45 minutes away from there. Less than an hour drive, and you're gonna find yourself in the wilderness next to pine trees, rivers, mountainscapes, and all that stuff. If you enjoy fishing, super easy to access. Then you also have like the Petroglyphs Monument, which is down the street. Awesome to see. Bring your sunscreen, bring a hat, because there's virtually no shade out there just because it's in the middle of the desert. And then of course, the scenic views that you are gonna get from this side of town are just bar none. And a lot of the communities up in RIO Rancho really took advantage of that, especially if you live up in Mariposa Park. Of course, those homes get way more expensive. Mariposa Park, yes, they do have affordable houses, but you're looking around that $500,000 mark for those newer houses. And then if you buy one of the custom built houses, they can get close to about $1 million, guys. So if you want views and you want to make sure that you get a nice view of the city and the mountainscapes, we can definitely help you find that. I know a lot of people are looking for that, or they just want to feel like they're super close to nature with having all the amenities, but necessarily don't want to live in Albuquerque. We can help you find that as well. It's funny to me how many times I have this conversation around the culture and the different vibes that are out there in RIO Rancho. To be honest with you, it's a very tight-knit community. I mean, virtually over 100,000 people. So that means that everybody kind of knows everybody, right? And when it comes down to like the local events that are always going on, you're always gonna hear about them because everybody's telling you about them. Hey, are you gonna go down to the fall festival? Are you gonna go down to the winter markets? Like, whatever's going on there, everybody's gonna know about it, and more than likely these people are gonna come and support you because they like to support anybody that lives in their community. That's a cool thing about living down there. Now, on the flip side, guys, there's not as much things to do as there is in Albuquerque, right? They don't have like a Dave & Buster's, a Main Event, Top Golf, and all that stuff. So if you do enjoy those types of things, you might find yourself traveling to Albuquerque. They do have the Santa Ana Star Casino though, which you can go and play laser tag, bowling, and if you like gambling, of course, you can go down there and do your thing. Now, they do have little tucked away restaurants and breweries over there. They have Bosque, which sits down the street from Santa Ana in Bernalillo, I believe, which is another little town. If you blink, you'd pass by and never really see it. Not to diss on them, but that's how small it is. But down there at the Bosque Brewing, you can sit on their outdoor patio, especially on a day like today where there's a cool breeze, it's not too hot, and really enjoy the mountain views and a cold brew and some good food. Now, for the kiddos and stuff like that, if you just want to tire them out, you're going to be probably doing a lot of things outside, like going from the Bosque trails, biking trails, and hiking trails, and just to all these different parks. So if you're worried about just being bored, yeah, there can be some lull times from, time to time, but for the majority, guys, it's not going to be dead. There's always going to be something going on, especially with the RIO Rancho Event Center becoming this hub for all the big artists to come and do their performances at. You're bound to go to a show every other weekend. Alrighty, guys, now I probably didn't give you all the sauce when it comes down to living in RIO Rancho, and for a reason. There's so much value that I can't just pack it into a 10-15 minute video for you guys. I have to sit down and have a conversation with you guys to really discover what's important to you and your family. And these are some key points that I would move my reason. These are just some key points that I would really move my family from Albuquerque to RIO Rancho to change their lifestyle a little bit, because if I wanted to just kind of be more out in the open, less populated, less traffic, if I wasn't traveling to Albuquerque as much for work and stuff like that, then I would definitely consider moving out there, because homes are a little bit more affordable. I mean, medical needs are really down the street. All the different growing aspects that's going on out there, that just seeing that happen right in front of you is actually pretty cool. So if this is you and you're thinking about moving to a place like RIO Rancho because you want a better school, you want a more affordable type of living, and you just want the opportunity to grow with the city that is just going through so much growth right now, then RIO Rancho is going to be the place for you. And if you are wondering anything about this city, or you just want to know anything else about living here in New Mexico, that number popping up on the screen is my direct line. And as much as I love doing these videos, guys, I would love to help you out with your real estate needs. So if you are planning on moving down here within the next 60, 90 days, shoot, even the next year, I'd love to help you find that place to call home. So I'm gonna go enjoy the rest of my weekend. Hope you guys have a great week. We'll talk to you guys on the next one. Peace.